Welcome back. February is finally here, and we know that this month is packed with releases. But somehow Nike and Jordan Brand still found a way to start off the month extremely light. Also, yesterday started the press events for the 23 stores that are going to have the Air Jordan 1 band. Also, it seems like Nike and Jordan Brand may be tapping back into a particular formula that I don't agree with. So without further ado, let's converse about these kicks. Starting off with the first release of this month, which is the Air Jordan 3 Valentine's Day. And again, like I said in the previous video, they could have kept these. These are going to be outlet bound. If you want them, they'll be super easy to cop. I see these dropping in price even before the end of February. In my opinion, the concept is just a little too lazy, and it looked like so many other attempts at a Valentine's Day colorway that they did in the past. And in more obscure releases, we get the Air Jordan 11 Columbia cleat for football, and we get the Air Jordan 14 oxidized green cleat for golf. For those of you who dabble in these sports, congratulations, you got two solid pairs. So let's get down to more pressing matters. The Air Jordan 1 band is scheduled to release February 14th for $250, which a lot of people had issue with, but it got even worse when they announced that it will only be 23 stores carrying the shoe. On top of that, it's only going to be 10,000 pairs. Some sources are speculating that there are going to be 23,000 pairs instead of 10,000 pairs. But again, who knows? All we know at this point is the Air Jordan 1 band for February is a reseller's wet dream. Because nobody, I repeat, nobody who is not plugged in or backdooring is getting their hands on this shoe unless you got like $900, because that's what they're asking for. With all of that being said, it seemed like Nike actually thought about it. So we got the official side chick release of the Air Jordan 1 Black Toe. It releases the very next day after everybody strike out on the band ones. So it seems like if you didn't get the band ones, you can get the black toes. And it seemed like the height for the black toes couldn't be lower. It's almost like them delaying the shoe made it even worse, especially when you putting it right behind one of the most anticipated releases for 2025. And on top of that, the band ones release on Valentine's Day and the black toes release on February 15th, which is side chick Valentine's Day. So now there's your cancellation prize. You didn't get the bands, but you get the black toes. Just as good, right? But again, to me, this is another fumbled release. They was better off just letting these release last year when they were supposed to. I'm not sure why they pushed the release back. I figured that they was gonna push merch and make it a bigger deal, but it seems like this is even less of a deal as it was when they originally were scheduled to release. So again, they dropped the ball with this release. Also, we get new information that the Galaxy Foamposite is going to be a quick strike, meaning it's going to be a lot more limited than a lot of people thought. Hopefully, we get way more pairs than the band one, because it seems like anything that we want, Nike decides to limit the numbers, which really to me doesn't make sense. Which kind of goes into one of my issues with Nike/Jordan Brand is it seems like they're going back to limiting a lot of the shoes, because I guess I'm assuming they think the problem is overproduction of other models throughout the years. But in my opinion, it's like, actually that's not the problem. You can drop the numbers down a little bit, but you don't gotta limit everything. And if the argument is things are sitting on the shelf, why is we getting such crappy releases? Like, in the same breath that they said they're gonna start limiting shoes more this year, we get an announcement right after that we getting an Air Jordan 3 Real Tree Camo. Like, who is these for? This is y'all third attempt at a Camo 3, and nobody wants them. Y'all did the Patchwork 3. Those was okay. Then y'all did this WNBA 3 from last year, which was horrible. And now it's like, how can we make this worse? I know, let's put trees on the threes. How did that make sense? And again, they're gonna chuck it up to, oh, well, you know, stuff sitting on the shelf, so we gotta limit the numbers, but look at the product that you're putting out. Everything that you're putting out that people want, we wanna limit that stuff, but in the same breath, we wanna release bullshit like this and expect people to buy it. But if they don't buy it, we're gonna use that as an excuse to limit the stuff that everybody wants, because hey, you should be buying that stuff too. But the easiest way to do that is just to put out product that people actually want. Like, you didn't even have to do this. This could have been an entirely different 3. You could have just slapped the colorway on it, slapped something. But this? Who is this for? Who is this for? These are gonna be outlet bound the first day they release, and by the end of the year, oh yeah, these supposed to release holiday 2025. By the end of the year, this shoe gonna be $100. and it ain't even gonna be worth it then. And speaking of redundancies and stuff that nobody asked for, we have got photos of an Air Force One low that's releasing this year. And I wish this was a joke. The linen canvas. The linen that they just released last year, which seemed like they was taking a step in the right direction and reviving the Air Force One iconic colorways. And in less than a year, they take that same colorway and just change the material. Like, this could have been any other shoe. But instead, no. Let's take the exact same thing and just change the material. It'll be fine. In less than 12 months, we're going to put this out and people was going to love it. How did this make sense? I get it. The linens was a little limited, but if you really felt like that, just re-release them. You don't have to rehash them with different material. It don't make sense. I'm pretty sure y'all got pairs sitting in the warehouse. Even if y'all don't, just produce some more. Instead of putting out this could have been an entirely different shoe. Go back in the vote. It's so many other colorways that y'all could have went with, yet we decided to do the same thing we just did less than a year before, but just change the material on it, and that should be good enough. Which really leads me to believe that they will never figure this out. Either they don't care or they really don't see it. Like, how does it make sense to keep putting out redundant and poorly thought out colorways, and then your reasoning behind stock numbers falling and sales not being up to snuff is, oh yeah, stuff is too available. When really, the real problem is you just putting out horrible products. Like, I get some releases as a hit and miss, but a lot of this stuff is like they not even trying. My bad. I didn't mean for that to be a rant, but it's just like, it don't make sense. But at least, hey, right after that crappy release of the Air Jordan 3 Valentine's Day, we finally getting a shoe that everybody can agree is on the top of their list for February. The Air Jordan 5 Black Metallic Reimagine. This shoe is pretty much perfect. They haven't said nothing about stock numbers, but I would assume that these are going to be a little less available than other OGs that we had in the past. But if you try hard enough, you should be able to get them for retail. And last but not least, we got the Air Jordan 3 Lucky Shorts, which is a shoe that I'm not really excited about. I'm not the biggest fan of how they executed this shoe. I feel like if you got the UNC 3s from a couple years back, you really don't need these. These shoes should be readily available, more than likely outlet bound, so you should have no problem copping, and if you want to wait, you can get them for the low. But that pretty much clears up relevant releases for February. Again, I don't agree with this new limit everything marketing strategy from Nike. It's a lot easier to just start making better colorways versus limiting the stuff that you know people want. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Will you be paying resale for the Band 1s? And how limited do you think the Galaxy Foamposite is really gonna be? And if you can get your hands on them, how much do you think that they're gonna end up going for on the secondary market? I'm gonna go decompress because that Nike conversation got me a little more frustrated than I originally thought. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.